Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you all for joining. We are going to start with the, let's see what's going on over here. Going to start with the chapter, a new chapter today. I have obeisance to all of you. I want to thank you all for inviting me to this Sanga. It's a great honor to be with all of you. My name is Madana-gopāla Das, and I think we get started.
Madana-gopāla Prabhu, can I introduce you?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So, I just wanted to introduce Madana-gopāla Prabhu here. He is, so we are delighted to welcome him. He is a dedicated servant of Srila Prabhupada, whose Krishna conscious journey began in 1991 at the age of 14. And understand at the age of 14, he started chanting 16 rounds, when he joined ISKCON in Nairobi in 1999. And he is a disciple of His Holiness Sat Swarupa Das Goswami, and he has served in numerous leadership, educational, and outreach roles. He is currently serves as a ISKCON GBC zonal supervisor from U.S. temples for 5 U.S. temples, and is a co-director of ISKCON Communication for North America and an assistant minister for fund development.
Oh, it looks like you got muted, Anuradha Prabhu, somehow.
Sorry, how much have you heard? Let me.
Oh, no, you just got muted for a second there. Yeah.
Okay. So he's an IT director at a leading US firm. He lives in New Jersey with his wife, Manasi Ganga Mataji, who is also a dynamic preacher and leader. Having raised their 22-year-old son in Krishna conscious environment, they are living examples of successfully integrating Krishna consciousness and living in the world. Madana-gopāla Prabhu is especially known for guiding modern devotees family on how to practically apply Krishna consciousness or spiritual wisdom in amidst today's busy, complex lifestyle. Through his deep devotion, relatable insights, and inspiring presentation, he continues to uplift hearts and transform lives wherever he speaks. So please, if we can all warmly welcome Madana-gopāla Das as he shares his realization and practical wisdom to help us deepen our Krishna consciousness and apply Srila Prabhupada's teachings in our daily lives. So if we can welcome him with 3 Hari Bols.
Haribo.
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 Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your kind welcome and your generous introduction. So we'll get right to it, since I believe the time is short. So I'm just going to, I think we're going to have about 40 minutes or so. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pacharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The title of today's verse or today's class is Asam Shayam Samagram, knowing Krishna completely through devotional yoga. So this is chapter 7. I'm going to read the verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asam Shayam Samagram Mam Yatha Shashitatchranu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Now hear, O son of Pritha, How? By practicing yoga in full consciousness of me. With mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. I'll read the purport. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, in this 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulences is described herein. Also, 4 kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna, and 4 kinds of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described in this chapter. In the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, the living entity has been described as non-material spirit soul, capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different types of yogas. At the end of the 6th chapter, it has been clearly stated that the steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness, is the highest form of all yoga. By concentrating one's mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely, but not otherwise. Impersonal Brahma Jyoti, or localized Paramatma realization, is not perfect knowledge of the absolute truth, because it is partial. Full and scientific knowledge is Krishna, and everything is revealed to the person in Krishna consciousness. In complete Krishna consciousness, one knows that Krishna is the ultimate knowledge beyond any doubts. Different types of yoga are only stepping stones on the path of Krishna consciousness. One who takes directly to Krishna consciousness automatically knows about Brahma Jyoti and Paramatma in full. By practice of Krishna consciousness, yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entities, material nature, and the manifestations with paraphernalia. So I'll pause here and we'll come back to the rest of the content later. But I want to give a little bit of quick background. In chapter 6, Krishna concludes, he described various yogas, karma yoga, jnana yoga, and chapter 6 was dhyana yoga. And this chapter culminated in this final verse of chapter 6. This is a previous verse that we ended on. He says, of all yogis, one who always abides in me, worships me with faith and devotion, is the highest of all. So Arjuna hears this, but naturally the question can arise. Okay, Krishna, if the topmost yogi is your devotee, then how do I become one? How do I know you fully? You can imagine him asking that question. So then Krishna then shifts. So you can see there's a dramatic shift now from the different kinds of yogas to something different here. Chapter 7 begins as Krishna's personal invitation to enter the mysteries of his personal form, his energies, and his relationship with us. You see how the chapter or the verse it starts. The first verse of this chapter, it says, "Now here," which means listen carefully. I'm going to talk about something very important. He normally doesn't say that, which means there's something different is coming now. So listen, sit up. So this 7.1, verse 7.1 that we're going to do today is a doorway. It's a doorway from the effort-driven yoga of the first 6 chapters to the grace-driven bhakti of the next 6 chapters. See, it's the difference between our effort and our yoga practice and mercy and grace that comes with bhakti. It's a little bit different. It's categorically different. And so it's the doorway of a shift. Let's go into the verse a little bit more. It says, Mai asakta mana, means attach your mind to me. Asakti means attachment. It says, attach your mind to me. So this is not just believing in God. And some people say, oh yeah, I believe. You know, in Hindi they say, hum bhi mante hain. Mante hai kya hua? Uppkar kiya kya? Believing is nothing. We want to develop affection for him. What's the point of believing you exist? It's like I tell my son, I believe you exist. I don't do anything for him. It's not a relationship. It's not enough. It's kind of silly, actually, to even say it. We need to develop affection for him. So Rup Goswami says, Adau Shraddha, Sadhu Sanga, Tada, Bhajan Kriya, like that, so many. So the bhakti process begins with affectionate commitment, asakta. Then he says, Mad Ashraya. You can see? Ashraya means take shelter of me. So the Acharyas explain this in two ways. That we take shelter directly of Krishna, or we take shelter of his pure devotee who gives Krishna, who has access to Krishna, who has realized the process, who has the depth and commitment to also take you along the process. So this ashraya, taking shelter of the ashraya of a pure devotee, is equivalent in one sense to take shelter of Krishna directly. It's actually not possible for us to take direct shelter of Krishna. He's accessible only through the pure devotees. That's Madashraya. Then Yogam Yunjan. Yogam Yunjan, he said Madashraya. Yogam Yunjan means practice the process, the yoga connected to me. And of course, the yoga to connect to Krishna is not impersonal meditation. It is bhakti yoga. It's the yoga of loving connection and service. Loving connection implies service. That's why Prabhupada always translated bhakti as devotional service, loving devotional service, and so on. Then another important word here is asamshayam. Samshaya means doubt. Asamshaya means without any doubt whatsoever. The mind loves to doubt. The bhakti clears confusion, not by removing questions or avoiding questions, but by aligning us with the revelation, clarifying what those revelations are. That's how the bhakti process works. And so when we make progress in this, you will get more confident and you will have no doubt. Asamshaya. And not just partial, it's samagram. This next word, samagram, means in fullness. Means there's nothing left behind to cover. Everything is covered in this discussion, in this process. There'll be no stone left unturned. There'll be no topic left undiscussed. But in particular, the absolute truth will be known fully. That's why Krishna says, asamshayam and samagram. It's not partial, not just Brahman, not just Paramatma, but Bhagavan. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that we know. So the core message is, if we make our consciousness lovingly attached to Krishna, taking shelter of Guru and Sadhu, engaging in Bhakti Yoga, Krishna himself guarantees full, doubtless knowledge of him. But another important word here is tat-shranu in this verse. Tat-shranu, hearing. Prabhupada emphasizes that Krishna begins with tat-shranu, just hear from me, this verse. Because it is the gateway to asamshayam and samagram, when we hear from the right source. Asamshayam means doubtless, and samagram means complete. So, just hear from me. In bhakti, hearing precedes knowing. We have to hear to know. Why? Because our senses cannot reach Krishna. Knowledge flows down from Krishna through the Guru Parampara, the disciplic succession, into the heart. That's why the hearing process is imperative to embrace. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes the series of verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the second chapter of the first canto, 1, 2, 17 through verse number 21. So Srinvatam Svakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana, like that. There's a whole series of them. And it ends with Vidyate Hridaya Grantis Chidyante Sarva Samshaya, and so on. So what do these verses do? these verses tell us a whole series. It's like a domino effect. What happens? It's a sequence of auspiciousness. What happens when one starts hearing? This is why Prabhupada embeds this whole set of verses in the purport. Because Krishna says, Tat Shranu. If you hear, all these wonderful things start. What are these wonderful things? The first thing, of course, is Shanvatam. Constantly, if you hear from Krishna, it's the first domino in the sequence, which sets off an auspicious chain reaction. Everything is auspicious. All auspiciousness comes from the first point, which is hearing. And so it's very important for us to prioritize this hearing process. Find ways to hear, and hear in a way that you're connected and absorbed. So Srinvatam, what happens? You constantly hear. And then next, a cleansing of the heart happens. Krishna personally cleanses the heart of our anarthas, unwanted things. Krishna removes them. He personally comes and cleanses. The anarthas are so deep, we have no ability to cleanse them. But to the degree we surrender to the hearing process, to that degree Krishna will enter our hearts. Remember, it's a matter of degree. How heartily are we inviting Krishna in? To that degree, he'll cleanse us. Then after cleansing, while the cleansing process is going on, so the steadiness takes place. Bhakti becomes steady. Naishtiki. It becomes steady. Yeah. Then what happens? The lower modes diminish. When you have some steadiness, then the lower mode, what are the lower modes of nature? Mode of passion and mode of ignorance. When these are prominent in our consciousness, we cannot make progress in Krishna consciousness. So the modes of passion, ignorance, they diminish. Okay. Then, once the modes of passion and ignorance have subsided substantially, then finally we'll find some peace in the heart. The heart becomes sattva shuddha, peaceful. The whole world is working so hard to be happy. And most people have come to the conclusion, the correct conclusion, that we cannot really be happy unless there's peace in our heart. It's not possible. Krishna himself says in the second chapter, he says, Ashantasya kutaha sukham. Without peace, there's no question of happiness. No amount of money can give you happiness if you don't have peace in your heart. It's a fact. We see so many disturbed individuals who have access to so much wealth, but they're just so disturbed, and no amount of sense gratification will make them happy. It's like you're trying to eat a bowl of ice cream and there's sand in your socks. You can't enjoy the ice cream because you're just so disturbed and you're just feeling irritated and itchy. But when we've gotten rid of these lower modes, or at least the dominance of them in our lives, then the external factors of the world don't move us anymore. And we find peace. So that's just the fifth auspicious thing that happens. And after that, the knot of material bondage is break. Like Chidyante Hridaya Granthi. Hridaya Granthi is the knot of the heart. We have knots in our heart which are very tightly bound for many, many lives. What kind of knots of attachment? We are very strongly attached to different aspects of our material identification. We're very strongly attached to who we think we are in the material world. We're very strongly attached to our possessions. We're attached to our bank balance and so on, the wealth we've accumulated. We're attached to our name and fame. For example, we're known to be smart, we're known to be educated, we're attached to our fame for being good looking, we're attached to our potential. That, look, I just graduated from the best university, and the potential that I have in this world, I can do so much. We attach to that too. We don't have to necessarily be attached to the things we have. We're attached to our potential, the future as well, because we invest our consciousness in how we envision our future from the material, selfish point of view. That knot is very deep. And this is just external things. Then there's other attachments, like we're attached to our family members, we're attached to our children, our parents. So these are all considered good attachments. I'm not saying necessarily they're bad. But if they're centered around a selfish identification, that they're mine to enjoy, they're mine to control, then that knot tightens our bondage to this world and keeps Krishna further away from our consciousness. Because our relationship with Krishna is actually categorically different. It's much deeper than anything else we have in the world. So, after we attain peace and we continue the process of hearing, Shravanam, the cutting of the knot starts loosening. It gets cut actually quite quickly because we develop attachment to Krishna, right? Our doubts are removed. Remember, the verse says, Asam Shayam. So, Tat Shrunu, he says, just here. And the effect is that doubts are removed. So, all doubts are removed when we continue this process of hearing. And it's true, we start out with many doubts, and it's good to have doubts. The function of intelligence is to apply proper doubts. I have a doubt, I have a question. Why is this particular thing this way? What does Krishna say about it? What does the Bhagavatam teach? What does the Vedic paradigm explain? So the more we ask questions, the more our doubts get removed. Of course, if all we do is doubt just for the sake of doubting and just for being pedantic, just for being irritating, then it's no point having this exercise. If you have genuine doubts and you articulate them and you work with serious devotees, the doubts will be removed for sure. It'll become asamshayam, and Krishna will facilitate the removal of doubts in your heart. And then finally, the dawning of realization happens. The true self-realization and the realization of the Lord, Bhagavan, begins to emerge. But all this starts with one thing. What is that? Constantly hearing about Krishna. This is important. So devotees don't mind hearing the same thing over and over again because it's very powerful. It's very uplifting. We hear the same verses, we hear Prabhupada's lectures hundreds of times, and yet we love it. We love his voice. We love the way he emphasizes these things. This is called constant hearing. It's not that, I heard that one, I don't need to hear the lecture again. No, it's so sweet. It's like saying, I took a shower yesterday, I don't need to take a shower today. No, we constantly need to be showering our consciousness by hearing. This is going to be the dawn of our auspiciousness. So Prabhupada says in the purport, different types of yoga are stepping stones on the path of Krishna consciousness. But one who takes directly to Krishna consciousness automatically knows Brahman and Paramatma. It's included. Prabhupada uses this analogy a lot. If we know the sun, like intimately, we automatically know sunlight and the heat. We know everything about the sun, including the energy of the sun. So similarly, we know Brahman is the effulgence of Krishna. Paramatma is the expansion of Krishna that is locally available. It's in everyone's heart, it's in every atom, and so on. And we also know that Bhagavan Shri Krishna, is the source of both Brahman and Paramatma. Therefore, Krishna Bhakti, the Bhakti Yoga, is not one path among many paths. It is the summit. Like in the mountain, he says mountain here. The top of the mountain is called the summit. There is nothing higher than the summit. It's not possible. So there is no process higher than Krishna Bhakti. It's not possible. Krishna Bhakti is the summit of all yoga processes. See, thank you. So it's not that Krishna is giving a buffet of different yoga practices in the Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes people say, oh, the Gita has every chapter is a different kind of yoga. You got the Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and so on. So it's a buffet. You go to the buffet. I like this particular one, I like these vegetables. I'll just pick and choose. Doesn't matter as long as I eat something, and all are equal. No, it's a ladder, and the top of the ladder is Bhakti Yoga, and the other yogas are meant to be pointers. And we will not be successful, really speaking, until we embrace Bhakti Yoga, because that's the culmination, it's the perfection of all the other yoga processes. So it's not one path among many, it is the path, it is the summit. That's the whole point. That's the way we can understand Gita, otherwise it won't make any sense. It's the summit. You can't go higher than that. And that's where we want to be. Okay. Now, for devotees who have been practicing Krishna consciousness for some time, or even those who are beginning, but those who have been practicing for some time, this verse 7.1, it's a reminder to recommit and to refine our practice. Recommit to the practice and also make it more refined. Make hearing the foundation. Tat Shranu, Shravanam. Daily Srimad Bhagavatam and daily Bhagavad Gita. At least a little bit. But we need it. Prabhupada said everybody should read daily. And just because it's daily and we need a little bit, doesn't mean it has to be approached in a ritualistic, hollow kind of way. Sometimes I saw like in Karma Kandis, if you ever been to a Karma Kanda kind of katha, where they're just doing it because the katha needs to be done for that particular, event in our life. And then just reading and even the style of reading is like, it's not at all convincing that they care even, of what's being discussed. It's like, mumble, mumble, mumble. It's ritualistic and hollow. That's not what we do. But it's easy for us to do that, get in that mindset, I'm just going to read it, but not connecting. We want deep absorption. We want to find ways to embrace every word, appreciate, cry tears. How wonderful Prabhupada explains this. How amazing what Krishna says. How far out this is. Wow, mind blown. That's the kind of reading we should be doing on a daily basis. It makes it so worth it. If we're connected and we're absorbed, we'll have satisfaction in the heart. It's thoroughly educational, and it helps us when we're trying to explain it to others. Make us think, make us more thoughtful. And it'll help us in our material lives as well, because we'll be more clear in our minds. So hearing is important. Then another aspect is, he says, Mayasakta, right? Mayasakta mana. Attachment. Asakti means attachment. We want to intensify our attachment, our loving attachment to Krishna. When you do japa, you chant Hare Krishna. We should not tolerate mediocre, disconnected, mechanical japa. I mean, we recite it. It's also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. What does it mean to be inattentive? It means I'm just doing it for producing the sound and moving my beat so I can meet my promise that I made for 16 rounds. But that's inattentive chanting. It's offensive. So we should not tolerate ourselves. How do we make it better? We cultivate a relationship. Krishna is our beloved friend, our beloved master, so on. And we pray before chanting, please engage me in your service. Let me feel your presence. Remind yourself how Krishna has been present in your life. If you really think about how Krishna's hand has been in your life, you can't help but cry tears of gratitude and appreciation. So that's the second one, is asakta. So tachranu, hearing, mayasakta, loving attachment, and then madashraya, shelter, deepen our shelter. What does that mean? It means, when we say deepen shelter, it means we increase our sense of dependency on these higher authorities or the higher merciful divine personalities in our lives. We increase our dependency on Guru, our dependency on great advanced devotees, the sadhus, and we take full shelter of understanding Shastra. It's a kind of a helplessness, a helpless mood that we approach them. When we approach these divine personalities in a helpless mood, then we will receive more mercy. Because there's no such thing as I got too much mercy. You always need more. So this is one way of deepening shelter. Another way is to stay connected to Krishna-centered association. Look for association, progressive circles. Find a devotee or a circle of devotees with whom you can really connect, you can really open up to, and so on. When you open up to a devotee in a real way, especially a devotee who is progressive, and a devotee who understands Krishna consciousness very well, and at the same time, they can also be confidential, can be your real friend. Those devotees are rare. Stay connected with such association, and you'll make progress by leaps and bounds, because now your heart is connected. See, this is Krishna's system. Stay connected with Krishna-centered association. In other words, seek guidance. Don't navigate bhakti alone. Because sometimes if you're off the wrong track or we've made certain false assumptions, we'll be stuck in a hamster cycle. So always seek guidance from progressive devotees. Okay? And then, of course, we have to learn to share. Because when we give to others, we get more. If I have like 10 pounds and I give, some people, okay, I'll give 10 people 1 pound each. I don't have any money left because I shared it all. But in Krishna consciousness, if you share what you have in Krishna consciousness, you share your realizations in a sincere way, your realizations will double, triple, 10 times, quadruple, whatever. You'll just multiply many times. It's not like money. It works the other way around. You give, the more you get. So, when we preach with conviction, we'll get a lot more back out of it. Knowledge flows through us into others. We can pray to be efficient and effective conduits of this knowledge. We owe it to our predecessors. We owe it to our gurus. We owe it to our teachers. We cannot pay them back. We can only pay it forward. So that's why we preach, because we owe it to them. Because somebody preached to us, somebody shared with us. And when our realization deepens, our preaching gains two things. It gains gravity. People can sense their seriousness, right? It gains gravity. And it gains sweetness. Sometimes some preachers are very good, but they don't preach sweetly. We don't want to be the Bible thumper types. You might have seen them on the corners of streets sometimes thumping, oh, you're going to go to hell if you don't do this. Some people find it effective to preach like that. If you don't do this, make this offense, you will fall down to hell. You'll be stuck in millions of lifetimes. We don't need to do that. Maybe occasionally, just to kind of give context, you can say it in a sweet way. But as we mature in our preaching and our realization gets deeper, it'll be a combination of gravity and sweetness that people will come to listen to you. Not just to hear your words, to experience your personality, your aura. Why? Because you have deepened your connection with Krishna. And so what happens is that bhakti yoga becomes the life-giving nectar. We naturally want to share. And when we naturally want to share, people sense it, that this person actually cares for me. He or she doesn't want anything from me. They're genuinely giving me something that is substantial. Let me learn more about it. So I'm going to cycle back through now these 4 things, okay? Because we have quite a bit of time. And I want to give it some depth here. So when we talk about hearing, the mood should be first the ears, then the heart, then the world. See, so here, absorb it in the heart and then share it out. Yeah. Daily Shravana is non-negotiable. We have to make a commitment. Every day we have to hear Prabhupada's lecture, maybe when you're getting ready, read something from Prabhupada's books or from someone in Prabhupada's line who inspires us, or hear a lecture from other devotees who are progressive. Do something. It has to be non-negotiable. It's like brushing your teeth. No. Fix a time, place, and text. When and where do you hear every single day? If you fix it, you'll do it. When do you do it? Without excuses. Make it sacred, like a doctor's round or a pilot's pre-flight check. Pilots, before they fly, they do a pre-flight check. Before we start our day, it should be part of our routine of a pre-flight check. Right? And we talked about deep absorption, not ritual listening. In other words, no multitasking, no scrolling. Read and hear until one point pierces your heart. If you don't feel your heart move, find something, keep reading. And then you find something clicking. Oh, this is awesome. It's amazing. Then you have a pearl. You produce a pearl of realization. Carry that pearl in your heart all day. That's called non-ritualistic. It's called absorbed listening. Before you start reading, you can do priming of the heart. You prime the pump. You add a little bit before. So before you open the book or before you listen to the class, first whisper this word that's in this verse. Tat shranu. Just hear. Tat shranu. My Lord, I am ready to hear. Please inspire me. And then you turn on your lecture or you listen or you read whatever it is you're reading. You pray. And then afterward, after you listen to what you have to hear or after you read, then you ask yourself with your eyes closed. Give yourself 60 seconds. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, how will I live this message today? What will I do different? That's going to be, even if slight, a drip transformation. What will I do today that reflect that I actually understood and I'm applying what I read today? Can you imagine the quality of your reading when you just spend a few more seconds doing this? It's be immense. If you have the inclination, which is a very good habit, is anchor with notes. Keep a tiny Bhagavatam field notebook or one line per day, insight, action, and review that thing weekly. One line there, write this. This is the pearl I collected today from the lecture. It doesn't matter if you repeat it from like last week. It doesn't matter. But you keep your pearls. You can write with a pen, or you can put it in your phone, keep it like a daily tally somewhere in some note application, a reminder list, or whatever, or put it on a Google Doc or Google Sheet with a date. One line per day. This is my realization. Doesn't take long. But when you start collecting, you see, wow, I have a whole chest full of pearls. Amazing. You'll be very rich very quickly. This is the get rich scheme. Get rich quick scheme, all right? Then prioritize hearing from realized devotees who transmit both rasa and tattva. If you recall, we talked about rasa and tattva on Radhashmi. Rasa means, the nice pastimes and good feelings you get when you hear the sweet interaction of the Lord and his relationships. And tattva means philosophy, philosophical conclusions, and how to defeat Mayavad. Both are very important. Srila Prabhupada's classes are our gold standard. He gives a good balance. And majority of the ratio is tattva. Tattva strengthens intelligence. And rasa, you put a little bit also. Don't go for only rasa and only lila katha, but you don't have a good grasp on tattva. Don't go for that. It's not what Prabhupada's ratio was. Understand what Prabhupada's emphasis was. His gold standard of classes. Listen carefully. See how he laid them out. He was a genius always. He's always given us genius classes. You'll see in his classes the three components always. Clarity, very clear. Compassion, Hear it in his voice. Look for it in his words. And urgency, a sense of urgency. Do it now. Don't waste time. Don't talk nonsense. So you have clarity, compassion, and urgency. This is the sadhu soundscape. So when we give our classes, if we're being ever asked to give a class, or if we're talking to someone trying to explain it, see if we can put in these three components: clarity, compassion, and a sense of urgency. And you listen like that. Okay. Another thing you can do, if you say, I don't know if I can do this like every day, swap out 20 minutes of your news feeds or whatever scrolling you're doing on social media, swap it out for Bhagavatam. 20 minutes. It's a challenge. Just do it for 7 days. And report one lived application to a close, say, God brother, God sister, or something in the evening. Share it with someone. Find someone to buy this. Just do it for 7 days and see if it makes a difference in your life. Then you go about your day, you're doing your work, or you're a student, or you're doing your job, or we're helping with the family, whatever it is you do on a regular basis, your normal life. And if for some reason stuff doesn't go well and your day gets derailed, can you still recall today's Shravana Pearl that you heard? Can you still recall it? Did you apply it? Particularly when your day gets messed up. Then did you apply it? You see, you're leveraging reverses in your life when you try to apply Krishna conscious learning. You're leveraging it because our emotions are attached to reversals also. We attach to exciting things, but even when something goes bad, we have a flow of emotions. Connect that with Krishna, with the pearls you've connected. And that downward aspect of your roller coaster ride of your life will also propel you upward to Krishna because you connected with Krishna realization. Okay? That's hearing. Then asakti, I'm coming back to number 2, loving attachment. A lot of it is going to come from our japa. Our japa is a lifeline to attach to Krishna. Our japa is a rendezvous. It's not a routine. Rendezvous means you're going to meet somebody important. It's a meeting. It's a tryst. We want to move from duty to desire. When you do japa, I have to do my japa. I got to do it. I have to do it. I got to get it done. That's duty. But we want to move it to, I really want to do it. I can't wait. When will I start? So how to do that? Begin each round as if you're entering the DT room. Be mindful of your posture, mindful of your breath, your presence. Offer the round before you chant it. My Lord, this is for you. Offer it. Like, you make an offer on a silver platter. So imagine that. You're addressing a person. You're not addressing syllables. So choose a mood and mindset that softens your heart and hold that mood while chanting. You should have a muscle memory for micro prayers. For example, please engage me in your service. That's a micro prayer. Quick micro. In fact, the mantra means that. Please engage me in your service. Or another micro prayer. Please, my Lord, let me feel your presence in this name. I don't always feel it. I'm sorry. Please today let me feel your presence one time at least. Another micro prayer. Radhe, Shrimati Radharani, please make me steady. Please make me sweet and small in front of you. I think I'm so big, but actually, please remind me of my humility, that I'm actually supposed to be humble. Please make me steady. These are mini micro prayers. They're really good for us. Quick one like that before you chant. Then when you're chanting, you get looped. You get looped out. Your mind wanders. Repair the loop. Don't scold. Don't need to scold your mind. Just return. Just return back. See, whoa. Jeez, it's a problem. 1 second, I'm having a technical problem. Yeah. One breath, one bead, one name. My apologies. Yeah, I'm just having a problem over here. Having low batteries and I have to get my chargers. Okay. And then fuel the heart. A few minutes of Lila Smaranam or Darshan, reading the name glorification. And at the end of the session, you measure yourself. The metric. Did at least 3 beats today. Just 1 second. I'm gonna. So, did at least 3 beats today taste like a relationship, not a performance? Thank you. You can measure like that. And then point number 3, deepen the shelter, Madashraya. The fact is that Maya, you still need that thing. Yeah. Maya isolates, but Sadhu Sanga integrates. The nature of Maya is to isolate you. That's why Maya is doing so well, especially with digital distractions. It isolates. People are sitting, the family is sitting around the dinner table and everyone's looking at their phones. Even when they're looking at like, oh, let's go on vacation to Hawaii or something, and they're like, oh, this looks like a nice place where we can sit under a tree by the beach and look at our phones. Yeah. It's Maya isolates us and we think it's so cool, but it's crushing us. So as part of our shelter, we want to have sadhu sanga that integrates us with each other and integrates us with Krishna. We want to live under their guidance. We want to keep a simple, say, guidance log. Questions we want to ask. Our mentors, or counselors, what kind of counsel do we receive? How did it work out for us? You can review regularly with the mentor. And then what happens? Your growth becomes visible. You can measure your growth. There's litmus tests. We don't want to stagnate. That's part of deepening our shelter. So what we want to do is we want to set up a board of directors, but our spiritual board of directors who are going to help us in our life. One is a guru who gives us inspiration and direction. We can have a shiksha mentor who can help us craft our life. We can have progressive peers who will give us accountability. Remember, when you have peers, one of the advantages of peers in devotional service, especially those who are progressive, is accountability. It's like when you have a workout buddy, the accountability, you work out more because you have somebody who's there with you at the same level. And it's also good to have someone who looks up to you. So you want to be better for them, like someone who's a junior, and you're helping them. You're helping them in their service. This is your board of directors. Meet them formally, informally, but at a cadence, at a rhythm. This is called deepening shelter. Then you also become a leader because you have someone junior to you, but you should also have someone senior to you. This whole divine sadhu sangha structure integrates us with the Krishna conscious path, makes us very strong and keeps us accountable, keeps us consistent. Prioritize sanghas where nam and shastra and seva are actually practiced, not just discussed, they're actually doing it. And avoid prajalpa kind of circles, okay? We all know that. Don't get into gossip and things like that. That'll be a huge distraction and actually slow us down a lot. Okay. Learn to find solutions in Shastra. If there's a major decision, find one explicit pramana or principle from Shastra before moving. Train your reflex. What does Shastra say? What would Prabhupada advise? Do I know enough? Have I read enough to actually come to a proper conclusion? If not, can I ask a senior devotee? Be open to corrections, especially from a trusted senior devotee. Say out loud, please, Mataji, please, Prabhuji, point out my blind spots. I live to be corrected. Correction is mercy in work clothes. When mercy descends, it comes in the form of correction, especially if the person giving you the correction has your best interest at heart. Okay? So shelter is important. Don't lone wolf bhakti. It's not like a lone wolf kind of practice. Independence may feel efficient, but it bleeds our strength. Even generals, they get together and have conferences before they fight the battle. Don't lone wolf your bhakti. That's why we have to deepen our shelter and deepen our sadhu sangha. Okay. Can you name right now the last piece of guidance you received? And how did you act on it? So deepen the shelter. And now we go to the fourth one, share. Preaching with conviction, right? The mood is transmission. We don't want to argue. It's not about going and beating people in argument. That's not the point. Let your realization speak. The heat and light energy. The heat is our conviction, and light is our compassion. Let that heat and light energy, our conviction and compassion, come from the depths of our own japa, shravana, and seva. That's going to energize. That's the source of energy. People will feel the lived truth because you're speaking from a place of realization. So speak from realization. But you can't have realization if you don't practice the japa, shravana, and seva. See? Realization is not just going to pop in to your heart because you chose that, okay, I want realization. No, you have to do japa, shravana, and seva consistently and deeply. Now, if you want to get better in preaching, then certain best practices are there. This is bridge, then reveal, then invite. Bridge, reveal, and invite. What does that mean? Bridge means start with their pain, their hope, their interest, their moods. Understand them. Create the bridge. Show that you're interested in them. And not just for showing. Be interested in a person. That's the soul that you're talking to. They have needs, interests, and concerns, and pains, and hopes. Find what they are. Be open. Be sensitive. That's the first bridge you build. Then you open the reveal in a soft way, in some relevant way, a Krishna-centered insight or a story. And then you invite. So you build a bridge, reveal Krishna, and then you invite them. As a next step, it could be chant one japa with me, or chant a whole round. Just take prasadam together, or read one page, or come to this place on Sunday, or come to the little gathering that we do, or come to the Zoom call, or let's hang out in person. But that's the invitation. So you got to bridge, reveal, and invite. It's a very effective way to connect folks, people with Krishna. And then tell your own bhajana stories. Share one moment where the holy name changed your day. Specifics move hearts, not generalizations. Specifics. Oh, people really connect to that. And then, of course, we want sweetness, right? Sweetness over point scoring. The goal isn't, I won this argument. No, it's that the goal should be, they tasted Krishna today. That's my score. This one person felt the sweetness of Krishna. Leave them with warmth and a bead to try. That's effective preaching. And of course, remember how they have the IV drips? Drip, drip. Have a daily drip of preaching, outreach. One act a day, small act, but one drop. You shared one cookie with somebody, that's an outreach. Prasadam sharing. You shared one short verse in some way to someone. You had a quick kirtan, or you had a follow-up text with somebody. That's outreach. Some person you might have met and you exchange some information or contact. Your follow-up text, hey, how's it going? Let them know what program I'm coming at. That's a drip. That's a drop that counts. Daily drip, 1 act a day at least, and 1 program a week. Whatever it is, you participate in a program, support a program of outreach, or set up a program of outreach, anything. If you do 1 a week, 1 act a day, 1 program a week, and 1 deep relationship in a month, you will become a super preacher. Krishna is pleased like anything. Okay. And our lifeline consists of 3 things: books, holy name, and prasadam. This is our lifeline. Keep them together. It's mercy in a 3-strand rope: books, nam, prasad. So metrics, how do we measure? Did at least 1 person chant 1 mantra, read 1 paragraph, or taste prasad because of you? Because something you did? You were in the tube and someone spoke to ask you why you have a tilak on your head, and you spoke to them about it, maybe give them a little book, or gave them a cookie, or told them about your program. This is all you want to measure. At least 1 person chant something this week because of me. This pleases the Lord. It pleases your heart like anything. So then we talk about Maya Sakta. How do we develop our attachment to Krishna? We deepen our gratitude to Krishna. We see Krishna's gifts in our lives, Krishna's invisible hand in our lives. Gratitude for devotees who helped us. Gratitude is the gateway to love. Gratitude is something we can reach right away. It's the doorway to affection, and affection blossoms into love. It's called asakti. 2, connection. Love is built on an awareness of our connection. At work, between tasks, while commuting, we can check in with Krishna. Am I connected with Krishna? It says someone might send a mental hello to a loved one. Krishna, thank you for helping me finish that task. Bring Krishna into your thanks. So just saying, thank God. Say, bring in your heart. Krishna, thank you for helping me with this out. That's amazing. It's a real stroke of luck, but I know it's not luck. That's your hand. And daydream, reflect. Every now and then we daydream. We zone out at work, or when you're commuting, you think of someone or something that we care about. Train that reflex to zone into Krishna. Instead of zoning out, spacing out, zone into Krishna. You look into the yonder, you're not seeing anything else, but train yourself to bring Krishna into that zone. Imagine his smiling face or favorite pastime. And then build love through service and improvement. Always improve. There's no limit to how much you can improve. How can I invest my efforts better? How can I be smarter? What can I read or hear tonight to understand Krishna better? Love grows when we invest effort. How can I invest my effort? In a relationship. You've seen people who have great relationships. Like, how do you guys keep it together? You're just a wonderful couple. You've been married for like 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and there's so much love between you. You guys are always laughing. How do you guys do it? It's so hard in this world. You'll find more often than not that these successful relationships are because both sides invest efforts. They invest effort. They do the work on it. It's hard work. It doesn't happen by osmosis. So we have to do that too. Krishna is waiting for us. He's willing to give us everything, but we have to just prove to him that we're interested in that relationship. So we invest our efforts in it. Then we want to train the tongue and mind together. Like mind and tongue, you keep it together. How? You chant softly under your breath whenever you can. Remember Krishna. Use triggers every time you check your phone. Every time you step outside the bathroom, whisper Hare Krishna once. Associate places or actions with Krishna. Your water cup, your desk plant. Can you imagine how pleased Krishna will be to see you like trying to connect everything with him? In the Gita, he's saying so much when you see this, connected with me. I'm the light of the sun and moon. He's trying to tell us to do exactly that. We can extend it to everything we can see every day. That's all. We're extending the Bhagavad Gita into our lives. Combine that, the mind, the tongue, and our consciousness. And see Krishna's hand in your life, in your day. That's a spiritual lens. See every situation, even the bad ones, as Krishna in our lives. Something challenging, that's Krishna strengthening us. Something successful, that's Krishna blessing us. A devotee smile or kindness, that's Krishna's love shining through that devotee. If we keep this lens on in our life, the world itself becomes a reminder of Krishna. That's called Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. The whole world is full of bliss. It's not Dukhalayam Ashashvatam anymore. See? Spiritual lens gives us bliss even in this world. Yeah. We may not always feel the mad love of the gopis, but if we keep thanking Krishna, keep remembering his kindness, keep aspiring to improve, then our heart will gradually awaken. And he says, attach your heart to me. Take shelter of my devotee. This is today's verse. Practice bhakti yoga sincerely. Then you will know me fully, free from every doubt, forever. This is just rewording the verse. Arjuna is not the only student here. Actually, we are the students. This is the invitation of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text number 1. This is it. It's not theoretical knowledge. It's a living realization. So this is a motto we want to carry. Attachment grows where attention goes. Give your best attention to Shravana, your softest heart to the holy name, and your trust to this Madashraya, and your overflow to the world. Because you want to fill your cup, and whatever overflows, you give it to the world. From there, asamshayam samagram stops being just a phrase and starts being your life. So we can pray to Krishna like this. Closing meditation. Oh, my beloved Krishna, son of King of Vraja, engage my tongue in chanting with affection, and my mind in resting at your lotus feet. Let me follow the path of those who truly love you, the simple, surrendered souls of Vrindavan. Harinam, please accept me. Krishna, please remember me. Let me live for you, speak for you, and remember you now and always. So thank you all very much for your kind attention and your time. It means a lot to be here in the United Kingdom with all of you. In your circle, I can see you're very progressive. And I really appreciate it. I've learned so much from interacting with many of you. And so I'm just incredibly grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we have a few minutes for comments, questions, and so on. You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to say something.
Anyone with questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Madanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, my humble obeisances. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Another very insightful, very powerful class. I have to listen to the recording again and make some notes because I'm a slow learner, listening very carefully, but I haven't made any notes. So thank you very much for your association. Thank you. And please make a UK as your home again and come back soon to give us more time and your wisdom. And then we can share and try and preach as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tulsi Mataji, for a kind words. I
Hare
appreciate it.
Krishna.
And,
So
I
much.
definitely will look forward to coming here again and again. Hare Krishna.
Tomorrow's Vaman Dwadashi. Can you explain something about Vaman Dev?
Sure, I think this Prabhuji has his hand up.
Yogesh Prabhu.
Yes.
1 second. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Hare
Oh,
Krishna.
I just met, because I didn't know that. I just heard a little bit later, yeah? You're coming, but before that, I read this morning in 7.1. So I made some notes. Don't know what you think about it anyway. Excuse me. I said, if you concentrate on Krishna consciousness, then you will know the the personality of Godhead. You should not waver your thoughts in your mind and all your thoughts in. Always you should and must, anything must distract you, sorry, when you're preaching. I said, practicing yoga is in its entirety on Krishna, then you are bound to find him and free of any misguidance you have. Anyone who has impersonal Brahman or preaching in any Paramatma, it is absolute truth. They forget to mention what the truth knowledge is, what the half truth is. You must always preach in your heart and do japa every day. That's my thoughts anyway.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu. Appreciate it for summarizing some of those points. Very important points. Thank you. Okay, I think someone requested if we can talk about Vamana. Dwadashi, it's Vamana.
May I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead. Sorry, I don't know your name. It's not visible.
Yes, sorry, my camera is faulty. My camera is faulty. I apologize.
No problem.
At the start, you mentioned, let me just try to, talking about the cleansing of heart happens, and that Krishna does this to the degree we are surrendered to him, to hearing. To the degree we are surrendered to the hearing process. So, if you could kindly clarify, what exactly do you mean by surrendering to the hearing process? Does it mean just focus totally on hearing? But then Arjuna says the mind is treacherous. And Krishna says, by practice, you will conquer the mind and be able to focus on hearing. Is it something different you meant by surrendering to hearing process?
Yes, thank you. It's a good question, Prabhu. Surrendering to the hearing process is a very deep practice, because first let's define what it means to surrender to the hearing process. There's several aspects to the hearing process. One is that you have a strong faith in who you're hearing, like you're listening to Krishna. So you trust that person. To the degree you trust that person, to that degree you've surrendered. So remember, surrender is a matter of degree. If you have a high sense of trust in Krishna and Krishna's representative, then you have more surrender, the hearing process. The other aspect of it is consistency. Do it regularly and repeatedly, because we need more of it all the time. And the third aspect is to then try to implement what we're hearing. You're not surrendered to the hearing process if he tells you, okay, bring me some water, and then you're like, okay, yeah. But you never ever bring him any water, for example. So that means you're not really surrendered. You're listening to it, you're processing it, but you're not acting on it. So the degree that we act on those instructions, to that degree we're surrendered. See? So what happens is that if Krishna says, chant my name, then what happens is part of the hearing, then we'll start chanting. Krishna says, give up these bad things, bad habits, we give them up. So to that degree, we show we are surrendered. The surrender has 6 components, right? Those are listed in the purport to Sarvadharman Parityaja verse. You can find them about surrender. Taking up things that are conducive, giving up things that are negative or slowing us down, having a sense of humility and so on. So if we follow those 6 components of surrender as part of our hearing process, where we take up practices that are conducive for Krishna consciousness, and we actually do things, to that degree, the cleansing of the heart will happen. Cleansing of the heart happens when we hear and we implement what we hear. So we need to have a trust. We need to have repetition, consistency. Right? Regular hearing. Nityam Bhagavata Seva. You said there's a verse that says Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Nityam is all the time. Now we can't hear 24/7, but Nityam can also mean regular or daily. So if we hear daily, it's like, we need to keep our body clean. So we should shower at least daily. Right? Of course, the nature of our body and the nature of the world is such, the moment the shower stops and the water stops falling on our head, we're already impure. That's okay. At least we're going to have a shower again another few hours, 24 hours, whatever. So similarly, Nityam Bhagavad Seva is important. So daily hearing. So the surrender, to answer your question again, the surrender to the hearing process means all these things. Have a trust, have a sense of cadence, repeated regularity, and an obedience to the instruction. If you have trust, your regularity, and obedience, then it shows your level of surrender to the hearing process, which is why all auspiciousness starts from the hearing process. And to the degree we allow it to clean us, it'll powerfully cleanse us, and we will find the peace and the happiness and the joy and the love that have been seeking and we're thirsty for. I hope that helps, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you so much. Such much amazing clarification. I'm grateful, Prabhuji. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, so there's a request for Vamana Dev, it's this Vamana Dvadashi. So I'll just give a very quick overview. Who's Lord Vamanadev? Imagine the Supreme Lord, the Supreme, choosing to arrive. Small, not thundering with weapons, but as a radiant boy brahmachari with a water pot, deer skin, and a cute little umbrella. That is Vamana. He's God wrapped in humility, teaching that real power doesn't need to look powerful. It's actually quite deceiving. The real power doesn't need to look like that. So you can see the scene, the demigods have lost everything. And so the Aditi and Kashyap, they're praying, and the Lord appears, Vamanadev, the dwarf. It's also known as Upendra. And meanwhile, Bali Maharaj, who's the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, he's reigning with his strength. He's also disciplined. He's generous. He's performing these grand sacrifices. And he's vowed to give any request because he has that kind of capability. The Vamana approaches, and he's so beautiful that his beauty just silences the assembly. Like, wow. And his words are simple. Give me 3 steps of land, 3 paces. And Bali smiles. 3 steps, ask for more. Come on. And Vamana says, if you can't be satisfied with 3 steps of land, that person will not be satisfied with the whole world. That line reminds us of something. It exposes our restless hearts. Why am I not satisfied? See? So then Shukracharya, the guru of Bali, he warns him, this is Vishnu. He will take everything. Don't give him anything. And in that moment, Bali Maharaj faces the test. He faces the choice. Should I protect my possessions, or should I keep my promise and surrender to the Lord? I gave a promise, I'll give anything to anybody. And he chose to keep his promise. He chose to surrender to the Lord. He's like, Vishnu is here. I'm totally going to surrender right now. He says basically that if the Lord himself asks, then my vow is fulfilled by offering everything. This is what's called integrity. Integrity guided by devotion. And of course, the miracle we see as a gift is given, this dwarf, quote unquote, expands, and we have Trivikram. With 1 step, he covers the earth. 2nd step, he spans the sky and all the other planets. Where do I put the 3rd step? And Bali is already tied up now with Varuna's ropes, and he bows his head. He says, please put your head, your 3rd step here on this head. And the Lord puts his lotus foot on Bali's head. And that touch, by touching him, that apparent defeat becomes his eternal victory. So Bali loses the throne, but he gains something even better. He gains the Lord as his personal doorkeeper. So externally he's reduced, but internally he's more exalted, like anything. So Vamanadev, he restores the cosmic balance, and more importantly, he reveals the inner law of bhakti. that what we give up for Krishna is never lost. He returns himself, he gives himself. See, so some teachings we can take from Vamanadev, that humility is the doorway to heaven. The Supreme himself chose the small look. When we choose humble service, unseen, uncelebrated, we step into his rhythm, his rhythm. So don't underestimate the small. Okay. Second point is that real charity is offering ourselves, self-offering. Bali Maharaj didn't just give his land, he gave himself. This is called Atma Nivedanam. It's one of the 6 symptoms of surrender. So what is our modern version of Atma Nivedanam? Offer your time. Fixed daily japa, fixed daily shavana. That's Atma Nivedan. Offer your attention. Be fully present when, with the devotees. Be fully present with your family when you're taking care of them. And then offer your talents. Use your skills for Krishna's mission. This is a self-offering. See, that allows us to give our heart to Krishna. Another point to remember is that keep your vows, because Bali kept his vow. Keep Krishna at the center. He honored his word. Even if it cost him everything, he didn't break his vow. But this is not stubbornness, it is devotion. See, the principles become living dharma. When they align with pleasing the Lord. So we fear surrender because we fear lack. We fear that we're going to have shortage. But when we lose to Krishna, we're winning for our life. Vamana shows that when Krishna takes, quote unquote, he's actually making space to stand in our life. What he occupies, he protects. And if he's in our life, he'll protect everything of us. So you see, Vamana's story is incredible. So what we can do is we can vow, I will protect the truth. I'll practice generosity. I'll place my head beneath the Lord's lotus feet. How do you protect the truth? Refuse to enter into gossip. Had enough of that. No more. Practice generosity. Give something that costs your time, your comfort, your resources. Give something that until it pinches you a bit or hurts. Krishna responds. Krishna doesn't see what you give. He sees what you keep for yourself. See? Place your head, offer that. Daily bow down to Krishna, like Bali gave his head. And tell Krishna, my Lord, I'm yours. Completely yours. I belong to you. Like how Bali said, I belong to you. I'm yours and I'm your slave. That's it. So then visualize Vamanadev's bright, serene. He's holding his water pot, standing before the altar of your heart. Hear him ask gently, hey, I need 3 steps. And then you say, my Lord, I'm going to offer you my mind. I'm going to offer you my speech. I'm going to offer you my actions. These are 3 steps. This is everything I have. And then watch him expand as Tribikram, filling your inner sky with his shelter. Feel his lotus foot touch the crown of your head, his cool, weightless, certain whisper that I'm there with you, I never leave. Because if we live in this way, we may not become emperors like Bali, but we will gain what he gained, the Lord himself, guarding the doorway of our hearts. So that's a few things I could think of, Vamanadev, in summary, how to apply it. Thank you for asking the question. I think we're kind of out of time. But yes. There you
Hare
go.
Krishna, Madana-gopāla. Thank you so much. It was amazing. So many notes I made here. One thing you spoke about was when you're hearing and when you're reading, collect the pearls, write down the notes. And today, in this session, there were so many wonderful pearls of wisdom that we can all meditate on. Hope this is recorded, right?
Yeah, I have recorded it and I will put it up on my YouTube. So when I put it, I'll share the link with Anuvardhan Prabhu and then the devotees can watch it again.
That's wonderful. Fantastic. So yes, I think I'm speaking for everybody else. It was really an enlivening session. So many things to learn about. So please do make time to come back again to give us your association, and we look forward to seeing you again. And so for all of us, we can unmute ourselves and do once again 3 love labels, thanking Madana-gopāla for giving us this time. Hari Bol.
Madan Mohan
Bol.
Madan
Gosh,
Thank you.
Madan-gopāla
Jai.
Oh gosh, Madan-gopāla Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. We'll see you soon.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Take care. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Have a safe journey home, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'll fly back tomorrow. Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Rika,
Thank
we
you very
look
much.
forward to
To
see
see
you again.
next-
Visit us again soon.
Thank you very much. Very kind. Yes. Appreciate it. Take care. Hari
Thank
Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
you.
Hare Krishna.